Hey guys, so this week I've been playing Planetside 2, which if you don't know is one of those free-to-play online shooters, but because it's a game that you don't gotta pay to play, is it any good? Is it as good as like a Call of Duty or any other shooter that you'd play on the PC? And does it feel like one of these games where if you're not paying then you're completely gimped and everyone else is better than you? Well, here's my opinion, Planetside 2.
Planetside 2 is a free-to-play game, meaning you don't have to buy it. You can just download it and play it right now, and it doesn't cost you a thing. It's a sci-fi shooter with tanks and planes and ATVs and guns and explosions and grenades and all that good stuff that you expect in your shooters. When you load up, you choose one of the three factions, the Vanu, the New Conglomerate, or the Terran Republic, and you fight against the other two. As you fight in your future space wars, you gain levels and gain points that you can use to certify into different weapons and increase your healing if you're a medic, or your repair if you're an engineer, or your flight time if you have one of those jetpacks. Honestly, it does everything a modern first-person shooter is supposed to do, so the question is, what makes this game different than all the others? And the answer to that is scale. All the fighting takes place on 3 different maps called continents, and continents is a great name for them because the sheer scale of these things make them continents. Each continent can hold up to 2,000 players at any given time, fighting for resources and trying to take over bases. And thanks to the aforementioned massive size of these continents, it's not cluttered. It's not like, hey, I'm 2,000 people on the size of a Call of Duty map. No, it's 2,000 people on a continent. Your motivation in the game is essentially take over bases. There are smaller bases, bigger bases, different bases that give you different abilities, but basically go from base to base and take over all of the continent, if you can. Because of the way the base capturing is set up, you can't just fly to, behind the enemy lines and try and take one of their bases. You have to kind of push your way through like a line of scrimmage. So you always kind of know looking at the map where the fighting's going to be, but it's never really predictable because there are 3 factions, so you might be fighting one faction and then, hey, here comes the other faction right behind you, taking your territory. And while sometimes it's you and a small squad of guys taking a tiny little base and not meeting much resistance and pushing your way through, occasionally you get to see the massive scale in progress. When you see huge columns of tanks supported by just dozens and dozens of aircraft just firing on a massive base, you really feel the scale of this game. And of course your computer will have to deal with the scale of this game as well, because not only does it have to render all these bases and hundreds of units on both sides, but also just how pretty this game looks. So you kind of need a decent PC to run it.
Hello? Planetside 2 tech support? Yeah, your game keeps crashing on me. No, my computer does not meet the minimum system requirements. I don't see what that has... Oh, that's probably why it's crashing up. Yeah, thank you. You've been a lot of help.
One of the few things that can be off-putting to new players is the complete lack of a tutorial. When you create a new character, the game quite literally drops you in the middle of the action, and you'll more likely die before you even know what's happening. If you're a veteran PC shooter, then you'll recognize the controls right away. Sprint and jump and, iron sights and all that stuff is there, and you can switch around the hotkeys and program it to your heart's delight. And while driving a tank or some of the other vehicles is pretty intuitive, flying, on the other hand, is not so easy. I crash into the ground every time I attempt it, and it's not uncommon to see other people do that when you're at your main base. The game offers a couple of different roles you can play. I always gravitate to combat medic because I love healing people and bringing people back to life because it seems like easy points. But if you want to specialize in anti-tank, or if you want to specialize as a sniper and all that stuff, or even specialize as a tank driver or a pilot, then you can go that route as well. And while a lot of the game is spent, just running around with your buddies, killing some people, and having fun, occasionally you will spend like 4 hours defending a base from Vanu's assault that just won't stop, and you just feel like you really went through some shit, man. Obviously, this is a free-to-play game, so the question is it free-to-play, or is it more like pay-to-win, where you have to pay money if you want to be any good at it? Thankfully, the answer is no, because a lot of the stuff you can buy is just appearance stuff, like new camo or new armor that, doesn't have any stats, it just looks different. And while there are weapons that you can buy with real-life money, you also use your certs, which you earn in the game, to buy them as well. And all the class upgrades and stuff that you can spec into are only with certs and not with real-life money. You can also spend your real-life money on boosters that give you more XP than everyone else, but for the most part, you're just as good as everyone else.
I love Planetside 2. I love the original despite the fact that it had all these problems and I was terrible at it. But this one is basically a remake of the original, and it made it better. It made the shooting better and the driving better. The infantry is not, useless against vehicles. It's just a whole lot of fun, and it's free, so why not get it?
If you like this video and share it on Facebook and Twitter, you'll be unofficially given the title Super Awesome Better Than Batman Totally Sexy Guy.